Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today is Mother's Day, so make sure you wish all your mamas, your baby mamas, everybody a happy Mother's Day to all of you guys. Today, what we're gonna be doing is, as you guys have previously seen, the car went down the road and everything, so we're gonna be putting the body kit back on it. I got a couple of tools I'm gonna show you guys that are brand new to me. So this whole mess right here that I have sitting over here should hopefully be back on the car. These are my stock bumpers, the red ones, but we got the side skirts, the front bumper, and the rear bumper. We should be putting all of these back on. I was gonna paint this rear crash support, but we're not gonna be worrying about it today because I'm probably gonna go bash bars at some point, or when I paint the car, I'll paint that to match. So what we're gonna be doing is just putting the kit on, but we're gonna be doing it properly. So in the past, the way that it was on, it was literally just self-tapered on, which a lot of you guys do that and you run it for basically the car's entire life. Don't run self-tappers on your body kits, guys. Come on, do shit the right way, please. So I went ahead and I went on Amazon and I got myself some nice, well, they say hood latch pins for my sick Jeep Wrangler. Just kidding, don't buy these. These things are pieces of shit. But I got these red quick release pins. These are gonna be used on the front bumper. I did red, so that way when we paint the car, you will barely be able to even see these. And then I got this Nex-Tac riv-nut tool. Comes with all your riv nuts, all of your different sizes, and the actual tool. So we're gonna be riv-nutting some riv nuts into the car. So it's gonna be nice and ready to go. The reason I wanna do riv nuts is because when you put these in, if you don't know how these work, they kind of sandwich in between the body panels. So we're gonna have to drill out these holes a tiny bit, but then we'll put some touch-up paint in there so it won't rust out, and then we'll put a nice nut insert in there so we have a nice thread in the body of the car that's all sealed off forever. So my rockers don't rust out, because that would really suck. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna jack up the front end of the car. So you can see I got it already lifted up. Shout out GK Tech again, because they make these super cool low profile car ramps so you can actually fit a jack under your really low car. So I'm gonna jack that up, take the front wheels off, and then we're gonna put a riv nut. We're gonna go bang, one right there, one right there. And then in the doors, if I open the door up, we got one up there and one right there. And then we'll worry about the rear two once we take the rear wheels off. But now we're gonna go ahead, get this thing jacked up and pop some riv nuts in it. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, so I got the car jacked up. I just took off this wheel because we're gonna start with this side skirt first, essentially. So I'm gonna show you guys, if you don't know what a riv nut is, this is what we are going to be using. In our case here, I'm gonna specifically be using an M6, but of course there's different sizes, but I don't need anything that overkill. So this is what you're gonna be putting in the actual car. If I can get it to focus, that would be great. Come on. So what this is your riv nut. So if you look down in there, there's little tiny threads that are inside of this. So you have to drill a hole, you insert that into the hole, and then where it's kind of coarse right here, that actually smushes, so it'll sandwich the panel, and then you have a nutted insert in your panel. So what we're gonna do with this guy is over here, where the side skirt mounts to the front fender, we're gonna drill that out a little bit bigger. We're gonna take this nutsert, or riv nut, whatever you wanna call it, and we're gonna put it right in there like that and smush it. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill it out. This kit off Amazon, which I can link all this in the description, it does come with a little Christmas tree bit or a step bit, so it makes it nice and easy. So we just gotta drill it out until the M6 goes in the hole and we'll be good. As a car guy, it always kind of hurts doing stuff like this because you gotta put a hole in your car. But I do have some touch-up paint, so we're gonna be all good there, don't have to worry about it. We're just gonna step it up a couple sizes. Just like that. So once you drill your hole a little bit bigger, you're gonna take your little riv nut guy and you should slide right in there, like that. So then once he's in there and compressed, you have a nutted insert in your car. And then once you do that, once you wanna always do is get like some touch-up paint or just any sort of paint on a brush. In my case, I got this Nissan just single stage factory red, which I'm pretty sure is what this is. It doesn't really matter, the car's gonna get painted at some point anyway, but it gives you a little paintbrush, and then you can paint the inside of the hole so there's no bare metal showing, and then you can put your riv nut in. And I should be able to show you guys the way that this tool works, so you can actually take one of these riv nuts and put it in there easily. Also, shout out all the homies on the Preserve team. We do have an Instagram, I'll put that on the screen right here. If you guys would be interested maybe in like buying some merchandise from me. I can get more of these made and we'll actually sell them to you, but these are me and the homies. Follow us on Instagram. I'm the one who runs the account, so I'm trying to post stuff pretty frequently. All right guys, so like I was saying, you wanna get your M6 insert in the riv nut gun. So what you're gonna do from here is you're gonna thread the riv nut on your riv nut tool. And then when you take this, so this would be in the body panel now, you're gonna close the handles right there until they're about flat. And as you can now see, once you squeeze it, the riv nut crushes and is now in the panel, so you're good to go. I made sure to do it on the fender because I've never done this before, so I just wanted to make sure I was doing it right. But I think we got it, boys, and we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and get this thing in there. And that easy, boys, you have a riv nut in your fender that is not going to rust. And then what I like to do is I like to put some touch-up paint. So I'm gonna take my little paintbrush for you guys. I'm doing this left-handed. But I like to paint around the edges of the riv nut just to make sure that nothing is gonna get inside of there and it is 100% weather sealed. So now that you guys know what I'm doing, I'm gonna go ahead and get the other ones in here, and let's do 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll be ready to move on to the other side. All right guys, welcome back. We got all the riv nuts in, got the paint on them. Everything is looking fantastic. So as you can see, we got the one in the front right there looking good, painted all around. One's in the side. We got both of the door jambs. One right there, and one right there. So last thing we're gonna add 2 in the back once we lift the rear end up to put the rear bumper on. I did want to show you guys as well, I got my quick release bumper clips. So on S13s, and I think Skylines and stuff like that too, you can actually use that bracket right there in the front bumper. So what you do is it comes with like this little threaded thing with a little ball on the end, 2 nuts and 2 washers. So you install that. And then this is your quick release button that then goes to your bumper. So you can see it's got a little button in the middle and it just pops on like that. So that'll hold on to your bumper. And then if you need to get your bumper off real quick, you just push the button and it pops right off. So it's nice and easy. I got that one on the passenger side and I also have mine on the driver's side as well. Looking all nice. These are really high quality push buttons. I really like them. They're aluminum and they're red aluminum, so I don't have to paint them, but they'll match the car once we do decide to paint it, which will be super sick. And they're very high quality. As you can see, they click on good, they sit there really strong, and they come off with ease. So you can get these in plastic, but I went with the aluminum ones. They're a lot more high quality. Mounted in there, good to go. And then on this side, I got all of my riv nuts in as well, just like the other side. Everything is good to go. We will throw the side skirts on once I lift the rear up and put those 2 riv nuts in the back. But for now, I think I'm going to kind of just bolt them up because they can't sit there. They're flexible, they're KBD, so they're polyurethane, so they will bend. And then we'll try to fit the front bumper, which is gonna be a little bit of a pain in the ass because we need to make sure that this button is in the right spot of the front bumper right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw my side skirts on real quick. So what I'm gonna do to get the side skirts on is I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of YouTube magic right here. All right guys, so I got the side skirts pretty much all on there. The riv nuts are working flawlessly. You can see I got the 1 in there, the 2 in the doors. I do not have a bolt in this one right here, and I do not have a bolt in it right there because I need to get some longer ones because the KBD skirts are kind of thick right there and mine do not reach the riv nut. But I will get some longer hardware and then we'll be able to bolt that one up. So since both of the skirts are on, we're gonna get to the front bumper. So what we have to do, we have to make sure that the little push pins that I put up in the corner, you can kind of see it sticking out. Got to make sure the push pin is in the right spot of the corner of this bumper. It's going to be somewhere in this general area. So we're going to go ahead and throw the bumper on the front of the car, and then we can kind of see what it's going to be looking like as far as where it mounts to. So we're going to put the bumper, we're going to mount it up top where it goes right there, and then we're going to see where that hits the back of the bumper, and that's going to be where we drill our hole. So what I just did is I put the bumper up on the front of the car like this. I took some of my touch-up paint, put it on the end of my little nub there, and then basically got the bumper to where I kind of wanted it, pushed it on there, and everything is good. So what I'm going to do is, if you can see right there, I got a little paint mark on the back of it. That is going to be my pilot hole, and then we're going to kind of just Dremel it out and keep making it a little bit bigger and go from there. All right guys, so I got my holes drilled. I got my little buttons in the bumper, so you can see it right there. It looks pretty nice. Nice tight fit, not going anywhere. All you need to do is with the button, so of course you have the button on the outside, and then there's a nut that they give you. You just thread that on the back nice and tight, and that thing is good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw it up on here. I'm gonna push my buttons on my little locking tabs, and we're gonna see exactly how that fits. Hopefully pretty good. All right guys, so you can see side skirts are pretty much on, all except for those bolts. I did get the front end on. The buttons are in. The fitment is not the best, but it's not the worst. I could get a fiberglass kit and the fitment would be a lot better. I think to make this a little better, I might have to push those out at some point, but it's not really anything that's gonna bother me. I think once it's all one color, if we put like a cool livery on it or something, you really won't even notice. The reason that I'm cool with this kit not fitting all that great is because this is going to be a purpose-built thrash car, and this KBD kit is pretty much indestructible and flexible. So super nice. As far as the other side goes, this side fits pretty good. Got my little buttons on there. Lights are all wired up and everything. I popped 2 riv nuts in this fender. I'm not super concerned with the fitment either because these fenders probably won't stay forever. But I do have 2 little riv nuts down there. Got my button up there, and the side skirts are pretty much on. So now all we have to do, we have to jack up the rear end of the car, so that way we can get the rear bumper, which is laying over there on the floor, back on the car, and then bolt it up. And then I'll also be able to get my last riv nuts back in here for my side skirt. So the kit is almost fully mounted on the vehicle. I'm about to jack up the rear end of the car, and we'll try to get this rear bumper on and see how that goes real quick. All right guys, so I managed to get the side skirts fully on. Pop my riv nut in the back here, and everything is all good. I just did one on the top on both sides to help give it a little bit of flexibility. So if we do end up hitting anything, that's not gonna fall off, but it does sit pretty flush with the body of the car, so it will definitely do its job. So as you can see, I'll walk around to the other side, and we got them on both sides. That guy's hanging on by a little tiny bit, so I'm sure that'll probably rip off at some point, but it is what it is. You know, that's part of drifting. It's the name of the game, part of the sport. So with that being said, as you can see, front bumper's on, everything's good. Got my quick release buttons on there so I can load it on the trailer pretty easily. A couple of riv nuts up front. The skirts are riv nutted all the way around, so the only thing that is left is to throw on the rear bumper, which I'm going to show you guys exactly how we're going to do that. So on S13s specifically, there's these little cutouts in the back, and what these are for is if you come into your trunk, there is 4 big holes, 2 right there and 2 on this side, and what those do is they actually hold the factory crash bar. So we're gonna use our factory crash bar with the KBD bumper, which is sick, and we're gonna bolt into that guy right there. So you can see I sprayed him with some paint. It does not match. I don't wanna hear it in the comments, but we're gonna paint this whole thing when we actually do the full body work on the car. But for now, that'll keep it from rusting. So we painted those up. I'm gonna slide those in, bolt them down, and then there's a really cool way that you can hold these in that I'm gonna show you guys here in just a second. From your factory rear bumper, you can take off these brackets, which is how it bolts into the car, which in this case, this one would go, if you're looking at the back of the car, it'll slide right there. And that's essentially how your factory bumper bolts to the rear of the car. So with that being said, we can take this little bracket and we're gonna be able to reuse it in our KBD bumper by putting it in there. So that's how we're gonna hold that on.
All right guys, so everything is done. If you can't tell, I'm wearing a different outfit. It's actually the following day. This took me a lot longer than I expected, but we took our time to make sure that everything was done correctly, and that is all that matters. So I just wanted to give you guys a look at what actually has been done to the car.
Of course, we got our side skirts on. Everything is riv nutted, even in the door jambs. They're all riv nuts now, sealed with paint, so we don't have to worry about that rusting at all. We got all of our hardware in. The fenders, we put some riv nuts up in there, but nothing crazy. As you can see, it's a little messed up, but these fenders are going to be getting replaced at some point anyway. We got our quick release buttons up in the front. So all we need to do to take the front bumper off is force 1, 2, 3, 4 up top, the button, and then 2 on the side, and then the whole entire front bumper will pop right off. It'll make it super easy for when we have to load it on a trailer and everything like that. I am definitely happy with how the car is looking currently. I do want to get it painted, of course, at some point, but I'm going to have to replace the front fenders, and then I want to get like a roof wing Maybe some sort of wing in the back, I don't really know yet. But then we'll actually paint the whole car and this thing will look fucking sick. So then walking around to the back, this is what I was finishing up on, which it was kind of a pain, but we did manage to get the rear bumper is fully on. I got the riv nuts, one in each side right there, just holding on the spat on the edge there. It is connected in here with 2 bolts, like the factory location, so you can see that seam right there is pretty nice. Needs a little bit of Bondo and body work, but that's real easy. We can fix that with no issues there. Fits pretty nicely all along the back. It's nice and sturdy on the bumper, and everything looks really good. So the body kit is pretty much 100% mounted on the car, and then really all that we have to do now is drive it and then fine tune from here. So with that being said, that's actually what I'm doing today. I'm about to go edit this video and then I'm going to the BMV. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing registered so we can do a couple of street drives with it and then fine tune our suspension and just kind of dial everything in, make sure everything is good to go, and then we're not gonna run into any weird little issues. But I do wanna say, of course, thank you for tapping into this video. I do wanna apologize for it being a little bit shorter, but on Sunday when I was working on the car, it was like 85 degrees and I was out here basically just sweating and dying, but we did get everything done. So I hope you guys enjoyed the small little updates. The next video though, we will definitely be driving this thing. It'll probably be a couple days from today. We'll take it for a spin and see how she drives. I have faith in it. I've driven this car all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, all the way to Gaylord, Michigan when I first bought it. So this thing is a beast. So I don't think we'll have any issues there. Just a couple laps, couple public roads. We'll probably take it, put some nice gas in it, and let it kind of warm up and open it up a little bit, let it stretch its legs out, so to speak. So I'm looking real forward to that. I do want to say thanks for tuning into this video. If there's anything you guys want to see, of course, leave me a comment down below, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.